Yes, people, good evening. Hope you're all well. I hope you're all cooling down. My goodness, it has been a scorching few days, but I hope you're all enjoying your week and trying to do your best to keep cool, but at least enjoy the sunshine. As ever, I'm your host and I'm on my own tonight. It's Dan Potts on Football's 12th Man podcast. And I wanted to just give a bit of a roundup, really, of some of the news we've heard. There's been quite a lot of news outside of transfers as far as Arsenal are concerned that I'm going to touch on to start with. For those of you that do or are interested in hearing more from us, myself, Harry Simu and Tom Canton will be on Lee Judges TV tomorrow at 8 p.m. to discuss a lot more in detail about what I'm going to be talking about, or at least touching on as we start looking towards what Arsenal are up to. The first thing I want to talk about is Jack Wilshere. I mentioned it with Tobes and Dan Lawless the other night, just touched on it in relation to him retiring from football, but also the fact that he's now the under-18s coach at Arsenal. And I think it's quite a good thing that we have ex-players back as kind of coaches if they're going to be in and around the club. I'm never really keen on him being a manager because, of course, when it goes wrong like it does with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, Frank Lampard, and potentially what it could go wrong with Mikel Arteta, then it's also very awkward. But what I will say is that I think it will work well. I think Jack Wilshere is probably known as one of the players that can do very good things around the place for players of that age. He was there not long ago, to be fair, Jack Wilshere, and I think he's a player that everybody respects and looks up to around the club. He's obviously very much an Arsenal fan and true gooner, and I think it can only be a good thing for him to be in and around the team. I think it's a shame that he had to retire so young, but it's a career that was really depleted through injuries, if I'm honest with you. I'll never forget a 19-year-old Jack Wilshere against Barcelona. I will never forget that. I never will. I thought it was an unbelievable performance and one of the best games I've seen at the Emirates, to be fair, and one that I look at and think, how good could he have been without the injuries? I really do think that. And I do think we've had a few players like that, but he's certainly the one that comes to my mind when I think of raw talent at a young age. I will remember seeing him at 16 years old, scoring a spectacular goal in a youth game. And then I remember I was at the Emirates the night that him and Ramsey played one of their first games against Sheffield United in the Carling Cup, where he scored his first goal. I remember Carlos Vela scored in a couple of chips that night as well. And I remember just thinking, yeah, I get it. This player is going to be good. Sweet left foot, very mobile, very comfortable on the ball, not afraid to go in for a tackle. But if I had any kind of negative to his game, it was that he never really saw big tackles coming into him until last minute. And at some times, he turned into them. And that's, I think, why he got so many injuries, Jack Wilshere. But having said that, he did go on to have a good career, not a great one, it has to be said, but certainly was at one stage a really talented player for Arsenal Football Club and never really managed to do anything at Bournemouth or West Ham after he'd left. And then I remember, last season, going over somewhere in Denmark and playing and obviously realising that time was up. So for him to come now back to the club and hopefully help some of the youngsters out, I think can only be a good thing. Sticking with Arsenal, the captaincy looks to have been decided from heavy rumours. Now, everybody knows my favourite player is Kieran Tierney. Everybody knows that I believe he epitomises everything that I think an Arsenal captain should be. But it looks as if Martin Ødegaard is favourite to get the armband. Big up everybody in the chat. Smash a like on this video for everyone who's watching already. Please whack in the chat as well who you think should be Arsenal captain. Should you believe it should be Martin Ødegaard? Should it be Kieran Tierney? Should it be somebody else? A lot of people have mentioned in the past Gabriel, Thomas Partey, Aaron Ramsdale as other names that could potentially look to be the Arsenal captain. Would anybody believe that Gabby Jesus would be an option in terms of his leadership and mentality? Put it in the chat. Let me know what you think. I think if Kieran Tierney was fit every single game, he would definitely get the armband. And I think we saw last season that he was the Arsenal captain when everybody was fit. But unfortunately for Kieran Tierney, injuries are an issue for him. And that's why I believe Martin Ødegaard will probably get the nod. I look at those two as different types of captains. I look at Kieran Tierney as very much the old school traditional captain. Somebody who has the armband and barks orders. Somebody who demands the best. Somebody with the winning mentality. That's why I want this guy as my captain. But when I look at Martin Ødegaard's attributes in terms of his leadership, I see him as somebody very different. Somebody who doesn't really bark orders. Somebody who doesn't really start shouting at people. Somebody who normally does gesture people in a different way, G's them up, leads by example as opposed to telling people what to do. So I think, in my opinion, it's a different style of captain, not one that I would like to see. And I'm not got nothing against Martin Odegaard. Everyone thinks I have, but I haven't. I actually don't mind the player. Technically, I think he's very good. I just feel that we could be seeing a lot more from him in terms of his goal contribution. And I mean assists and goals by that. He's starting, to me, to look like a reason as to why people are comparing him to Mesut Ozil is because he goes missing in some of the bigger games and he doesn't always get on the score sheet or assist, which, let's be honest, Mesut Ozil was seen as the assist king. But actually, I think his goals and assists only hit 20 in one of the seasons out of his 7 at Arsenal. So Martin Odegaard, I don't want to be seeing him go down that road. So it looks like he's going to be the captain. I imagine Kieran Tierney will be vice captain. And I imagine after that, it will probably be Gabriel. But let us know in the chat who you think. A lot of people saying it should be Kieran Tierney, but he's missing too many games. A lot of people also mentioning Martin Odegaard. It looks like those are the 2 names that you guys are looking at also, as well as Mikel Arteta. Sticking with Arsenal, the other news that we believe, rumours are, quite heavy. Again, it's just a rumoured club at the moment, isn't it, Arsenal? All you hear is rumours. I'd like to see more action. But if I look at what I've heard the last couple of days, the rumours are that William Saliba and Saka are both being offered contracts, which we believe they're happy to sign. Now, I don't have any inside information. I don't have any knowledge of how much they're going to be on, how long the contracts are going to be. But I just wanted to bring it up because although it's not transfer news, I actually feel it's massive news. Because these two I really want to see for the next coming years. I'm really interested to see William Saliba. He's the one to watch next season for me. I'm going to be really interested to see what kind of form he's going to bring to the Premier League. He's been fantastic in France for the last 3 seasons at St Etienne, Nice and Marseille. He's proved that he's good enough to get into the international call-up and, of course, Player of the Year in France on a number of occasions, Players of the Month, Team of the Year. It's been a really good time for him in the last couple of seasons, William Saliba. And I do believe that there's a place for him in this Arsenal side. Now, some people are saying he's not going to get into the first team. He can't get ahead of Ben White. I beg to differ. I do look at Ben White as a good defender. I don't look at him and think, wow. I think Gabriel's definitely the best centre-half that we've got, and alongside him, I think there is a place for William Saliba, and it'll be nice to see him compete with Ben White. I think it's healthy. I think it's really healthy. A lot of people will say that, it's frustrating or out of order on Ben White or out of order on Saliba for one of them to miss out. This is what we need in every single position, guys. This is what we need moving forward. So let's see what happens. In relation to William Saliba, a lot of people are saying we have the option of going free at the back. Yeah, I think we could have the option of going free at the back. I can't see it happening, but I think there's an option there if it was needed to be. I actually think it's probably the strongest part of our whole squad at the moment. I don't like our midfield currently. I don't really like our centre forwards, if I'm honest. I like Jesus as the signing, but that's it. That's all we've got. I don't rate Eddie and Balogun to the level of the Premier League yet. And in centre midfield, I think we need some surgery, albeit quite clustered in there. They're all quite average. So at the back, we've actually got some half-decent players. I like Tierney. I like Tomiyasu. I like Gabriel White and Saliba. So we've actually got some strength in depth there in certain of those, certainly in the centre-back areas. I still feel we're short full-back. I do. I still feel we're short. Rumours of Grimaldo from Benfica, £7 million. Don't know much about him. If I'm honest with you, but from what I hear only good things. Somebody who's quite good going forward, but also good going defensively as well. So perhaps he could be an upgrade on Nuno Tavares, and we look to loan him out or even sell him, as I'm hearing from some clubs that are interested. I believe Marseille are the latest to be interested in Nuno Tavares. So let's keep posted there and watch that space. In midfield, listen, it's gone quiet again, hasn't it? I'm really surprised this Tielemans deal is not going to get done soon. If it does get done, I can see this one being a last-minute thing. I don't know why, because it looks to me as if all the fingers are pointing suggests that he wants to leave Leicester, and Arsenal are favourites to sign him. It's all we keep hearing for years and years and years, it seems now. Of course, I'm exaggerating, but it does seem that way. We've seen a few weeks being linked with him now, and it just seems like it's such an easy deal to go and get done. But for whatever reason, we're holding out. We have, of course, been linked with Lucas Paqueta, or Paquetá, as some people are saying it is pronounced, over at Leon, who's a player who was apparently best mates with Bruno Guimaraes at Newcastle. What a player I would have wished we would have got in January, but that's another story. I do hear good things about him, not so sure about Paquetá. All I know is that he's another Brazilian that Edu apparently rates and that we would like to look at, and we're heavily linked with him. Rumours, of course, Milinkovic-Savic, money went in for him, and we're going back in for him. Of course, these are all rumours at the moment. I just want to see this midfield surgery completed, and I'd love to see some other players coming in alongside that. I just get the feeling, guys, just lastly on Arsenal, that we're going to be going into this Crystal Palace game short. I really do think that. I believe by the time we get to Crystal Palace, we'll have a centre midfielder and a left back, but we still won't have a backup cover at right back, on the wing, or another striker in. I just feel we're going to be 2 or 3 positions short. We're not going to have another defensive midfielder, in my opinion, to cover for Thomas Partey. So I really do feel like we're going to be a little disappointed when the window shuts and we're 1 or 2 short. But listen, it could be me being negative or toxic, as people like to call me sometimes. But I just say it how it is. I don't really care what people say anymore. I'm sick and tired and exhausted of the way this club acts. So let's hope that we can be proven wrong and that we go in strong and have a positive end to the summer window. That's all on Arsenal, but what I will do is move to a player that we have been linked with, that's now linked with another club, Scamacca from Sassuolo. I do feel like he has got something about him from what I'm hearing. 6'5", centre forward, target man, knows where the goal is, good in the air, good at holding the ball up, and great at link-up play. That's basically what Arsenal need. So at 40 to 50 million, they're saying now he's worth. I think that would be a good signing. Whether we've got that money, I don't really know. But West Ham are linked with him and, of course, Broja, who's currently at Chelsea. But it looks like Chelsea are willing to sell, which means to me that they've probably got another centre forward that they're snooping around, because they are very short now. They've got rid of Lukaku. It's going to be interesting to see with West Ham this summer. I've been interested to see their business. They've got Aguerd at the back, who's a very good signing, highly rated centre back at Rennes. They've just signed Flynn Dans from Swansea, who I didn't know much about, but being an Essex boy, I do follow some of my local teams around East Anglia, and Ipswich is one of them. And he was very, very highly rated at Ipswich. Went to Swansea, was even better there, and now is doing well at West Ham. So I do think West Ham have done some okay business. It's going to be interesting to see what they do with their forwards, because they are desperate for a centre forward, West Ham, in my opinion. Absolutely desperate for one. So Scamacca and Broja are 2 that they're looking at, and I think both would be fantastic signings with Antonio and Bowen as cover. I don't know what I feel about West Ham. I just don't know what I see next season with them. They've done really well the last 2 and really surprised me, particularly last season. Even being in and around that top 4 at one stage, being in all 4 competitions and getting to a semi-final of the Europa League, you have to say hats off to them. And hats off to David Moyes, because that's a manager that got a lot of stick when he went to Manchester United. But actually, when you look at it now, guys, what he's doing at West Ham is only what he did at Everton back in 2005, 6 and 7. He went and put them into a Champions League spot, and now that's exactly what he's trying to do with West Ham. So I think fair play to him, because that Everton side that he had back then was magnificent, to be fair. And it wasn't when he took over at West Ham. What did they come? Was they 16th in their first season? Now they're looking at 5th place, and of course Europa League, Conference League last season, but of course the semi-final of the Europa League. It's an unbelievable job, to be fair to David Moyes. Let's talk about Chelsea. Linked with a few players, to be honest. Today the latest is Koulibaly. Now, I don't know what you guys think about this guy, but he's been one that's been touted to be coming to the Premier League for a long, long time. And I don't know about you guys, but I question his pace of the Premier League. Now, I'm not one to sit there and say that he's not lived in Christie. I'm not so sure that he's slow. But I just don't know that I see an athletic centre-half there. I just don't. I just feel like there could be a weakness as he gets older. I do think he's a rock, but I don't see him as agile as perhaps some of the other reports suggest. So watch this space on this one. Chelsea need centre-backs. They've lost Christensen, they've lost Rudiger. There's doubts over Azpilicueta, who of course can play both full-back positions and in a third, free at the back. And with only Thiago Silva there that you look at and go, fair play, they're struggling. He's 37, going on 38, which is unbelievable, by the way, that he's still playing to that level. Big up to Thiago Silva. What an unbelievable career. I think this will be a good signing if it happens, don't get me wrong. I can't see the Delict one happening. Apparently Koulibaly is linked with Juventus as well, but Juventus, to be fair, seem to be linked with everybody at the moment. It's mad. But I don't see it as a great signing. I don't know why. Maybe you can tell me in the chat why you think this one's a good or a bad signing. I don't look at this one and get jealous by it. I don't look at him and go, wow, Chelsea are unstoppable with him at the back. He's a beast. Because as much as he is a beast, I do think there's weaknesses to his game. I remember Arsenal playing Napoli in the quarters or semi-finals of the Europa League. We beat them 2-0. And I remember he had a nightmare. He had an absolute nightmare. And that was against the poor Arsenal side, by the way, that Unai Emery somehow got to a Europa League final. So I don't look at it and think, wow, this is superb. However, having said that, if Chelsea do make this signing and they do make Koundé from Seville their other centre-back signing, and they look at getting Raheem Sterling, which apparently is in advanced stages, then I do think we have to look at Chelsea and think if they get that centre-forward, they could then be a force. I do wonder what they're going to do with some of their loan players. I think Conor Gallagher, that's the one I want to see, because that for me is a very, very good signing for somebody if he does leave Chelsea. Broja likewise if he does go to West Ham. I do think Chelsea have got some gems there. I do. And it's going to be interesting to see whether Tommy Tuchel believes that he can keep that squad or if he wants to start with giving people chances at other clubs that just aren't going to get any first team football. So I think Chelsea have got a lot of work to do, to be honest. And I do feel that although they have some problems, they've got an elite manager and still some world-class players. They've still got a great side. So I don't expect them to be having a shocker this season and going down into 8th, 9th or 10th position like we have seen Chelsea do back in 2016 before Antonio Conte took over and took them to a title. I don't expect that to happen. I really don't. Spurs, listen, we've seen Spurs do some business already and there's rumours it's going to continue. I'm not too worried about Lenglet at the back. I think he's a centre-half that probably hit the ground running at Seville and then went to Barcelona and has been okay. I don't look at him now and go, wow. But what I do is I think Conte can get something out of you. In a back three with Romero and probably Dyer for another season, I imagine, until they upgrade on him. I do feel that could be an okay back three. Jed Spence looks to be coming in as well from what we're hearing, and Perisic looks to be on the left-hand side. That's a back five that would probably be able to do well under Antonio Conte with Lloris in goal. Then obviously you've got the backup in case he gets injured, which is Forster now, who's Premier League proven. Bissouma, Bentancur, Højbjerg, and then of course a front four now of Kulusevski, Richarlison, Son and Kane. I hate to say it, but that's the team I'm going for top three. That's the team I'm going for third. I think they'll do it ahead of Chelsea. I really do. I think they've got goals in their teams. I think they've got stability now. And I think they've got a manager who just gets the best out of a bad team. And I think there are some bad eggs in there still. But I just have the faith and confidence that Antonio Conte is going to do wonders at that club. And I really hope that I'm wrong and that he doesn't win trophies and that he doesn't get them into anywhere near the top four. But I have to be realistic, guys. That's all I do is try and speak facts. And that's how I'm feeling. That is my opinion. It's going to be interesting what happens with Arsenal and Manchester United. Manchester United are a club I'm looking at alongside us. A little bit lost at times, it seems. Not sure where they're going. 1 minute they want to put a huge bid in for Anthony. Then they want to put a huge bid in for Martinez. And at the same time, they're trying to get deals done for Christian Eriksen, Frankie de Jong. And of course, there's rumours about Cristiano Ronaldo leaving. So there's a bit of a club in a mess at the moment. Rumours of Harry Maguire, being unsettled with the fan base. And does he deserve the captaincy? Is Ten Hag going to see some of these players in his long-term plan? I kind of feel a bit of a hypocrite saying this because I don't really feel it works this way. But I do think Man United have to kind of write this season off, to be honest with you. Because if they're going to allow Ten Hag to be there more than one season, they're going to have to let this season just do what you can. Try and clear out who you think is bad eggs. Try and give him a bit of an understanding because he is the right man as far as Manchester United are concerned. Now, I would have gone a different way. I would have gone for a world-class manager like a Diego Simeone. If I was a Man United fan, that's the way I would have wanted it. Go and win something. Back him, go and win something. Whether it's an FA Cup or a Carabao Cup, you have to start somewhere and try and get something. Now, I don't believe in this long 5-year processes, which I think is what they're going to go down with Ten Hag. The only thing I will say is the only chance it's got is that Manchester United spend ridiculous money. Ten Hag is a great manager and he's proven. That's the difference between Manchester United right now and Arsenal. Arsenal have tried to do a process with someone who's never managed anybody before. Arsenal have tried to be backing a manager with a load of money and a load of advisory roles where no one's actually done this before. It's all very, very new. And they've gone for novices everywhere to novices on the pitch. Now, I like some of Arsenal signings, don't get me wrong. I'm not being harsh to some of them. It's just reality and facts. They're young. They're still learning. I think where Manchester United might change is they might go a little bit more balanced and they might look at experienced heads that are ready now. Some of the players, that they're linked with, De Jong, he's not a young learning player. Somebody like Christian Eriksen is not still learning. So they're going to look at that way, in my opinion, and go down that route. So that will be interesting. We're kind of there. Wayne Rooney has accepted the management job at DC United. Don't know what your thoughts are on that, people. I think that's a bit of a bizarre move, if I'm honest. I don't think he did terribly at Derby, although they had everything going against them. I actually think he did quite well. A lot of Derby fans I know quite liked him. So I'm surprised he didn't stay in England. So that one was a bit of a strange one. I can't lie. The other bit of news today is that Wolves have signed Nathan Collins from Burnley for a lot of money, by the way, £20 million for a player that I don't really think has hit the ground running. But maybe that's a good signing for Wolves. It will be interesting to see what they do under Bruno Lage, because I think they're 2 or 3 players short still if they want another season like last time. Guys, we're going to kind of come to a close there. We're going to see what people are up to in the chat before we do that. Any last minute questions, throw them in. I'm going to be happy to answer some of them. We've got some stuff coming up in the week, not just on this channel, but also on Lee Judges TV. So if you haven't done so already, please go over to Lee Judges TV, smash a like and a subscribe on that channel. And please join us tomorrow night, 8 PM. It'll be myself, Harry Simew and Tom Canton, talking about some of the ongoings at Arsenal and, of course, getting their sports journalist views about what we are linked with and who we are or are not linked with, as to be spoken to. So it will be interesting to see what their thoughts are. Please smash a like on this video on the way out. Let's see what you guys are saying in the chat. Kevin Jimenez, big up yourself, Kevin. He's saying Chelsea are interested in Gnabry. I heard this. A lot of articles saying Gnabry does not want to go Chelsea because he's got loyalties to Arsenal. I really don't see that to be the case, if I'm honest with you. If I had to take a punt, I think Manchester City will go in for Gnabry. I do, because these players can't keep leaving City without being replaced. Sterling going, Jesus going, Mahrez on 1 year left, Bernardo Silva rumoured to be going. I'll be very surprised if they let all those players go. So it wouldn't surprise me if Manchester City go in for Gnabry. I think Chelsea would be interested because I think they want 2. They want Sterling and 1 more, which makes sense to me. And obviously Rafinha looks to be going to Barcelona. Shock, that was always going to happen. So it looks now like Chelsea are going to be going in for Serge Gnabry. That would be a fantastic signing. I have to say, I'm a big fan of this kid and thought it was a shame that he left Arsenal. We should go for Max Aarons. Do you know what? That's an absolutely fantastic shout. I think he's a very consistent player, young still, can learn a lot, and he's a different style of right back to Tomiyasu, and I actually think that would be a very good signing if we were to go for a right back. But I do think personally, it's not looking likely that we're going to get there. In for either Lamptey, who I really like, by the way, or Max Aarons. This one's coming from Martin. It says Chelsea are the ones to watch next season. They could be fire. Depending on who they recruit, Martin, I'm with you. If they do recruit well, then yeah, of course they'll be a force because they're a good club. They've got a great manager, elite manager, and of course they get the recruitment right. It'll be interesting to see what they can do. We've got a West Ham fan in the house. Big up, Tommy. Hope you're well, mate. Said he'd love 2 centre forwards at West Ham, but don't see us getting neither of them. That's a very pessimistic way to look at West Ham striker transfer targets, mate. But I do believe you will get at least one of them, maybe even both of them, but I think you'll get one of them. You're certainly going to get a centre-forward because everybody who watches football knows that West Ham have needed a centre-forward for what feels like decades now, man. So let's hope that you do get one because it would be interesting to see what you can do there. Question from Harvey. If Kieran Tierney would get injured first game of the season and be gone for the rest of it, and we got Tavares and Grimaldo as backups, would those 2 be good enough? That's a really good question. Listen, first of all, Harvey, I don't want Kieran Tierney getting injured at all. And I do have my doubts over him keeping fit because he's struggled so far. But we hear a lot of rumours, don't we, that this operation that he's had is now going to be sorted in for him and he's not going to get as many injuries. Yeah, let's see what happens there. As for is Tavares and Grimaldo as backups good enough? Tavares, no. if I'm honest with you. I've never seen him as a left-back. I've always thought he was a wing-back or a left-winger. He'll either go on loan or be sold. And Grimaldo, from what I'm hearing, would be a much better option, which is strange because he's already at Benfica, which we bought Tavares from. So why did we not go for him last summer? Very, very bizarre as far as I'm concerned. But I think, no, you're probably right. They would not be good enough, in my opinion. Grimaldo, yet to be seen, if I'm honest with you. I can't say yes or no on that one. But it would be nice to see us going for a left-back that you think, wow, Kieran Tierney's got some serious competition here. Like, this is going to be really interesting if he gets injured. And I'm not sure who that guy is. Maybe it's Zinchenko. If I'm honest, maybe it would have been Aaron Hickey. We're seeing how good he would have been. He's going to be at Brentford now. I think maybe a bit too soon for him. But we'll see what happens. Mark, big up yourself, mate, but I don't agree with what you're saying, and I know, of course, you are joking. He's saying we have Saka for cover at left back. Let's hope we never, ever see that again, because that was shocking. Guys, it's been a pleasure. There's only a quick, short video today. Big up all yourselves in the chat. Smash the like button on your way out. We're going to bring you more content and hopefully do stuff a little bit more regularly. I've been really busy the last few days, so I haven't been able to get a shout out to you over the weekend or last night. But I'm with you tonight, and hopefully you'll see more of me. Until then, take it easy. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep loving the channel. Keep helping it grow. Smash a like on your way out because it does mean the world. And subscribe if you haven't done so already. And we'll speak to you soon, guys. Take care.